Welcome to the show. Hi, I'm Randy Jeffers, and we are live from the entertainment capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Well, we have a really special guest, a friend of mine, Andy Bogusz. And Andy has a very unique company that makes some really special kind of housing. And tell us the name of your company.
Well, my company is a manufacturing company called Creative Foam Shapes, and what we do is we do all the, basically the foo-foo on all the houses and all that kind of thing. Anything decorative coming out of the houses is styrofoam and then covered with stucco.
So you're making houses out of foam.
Yeah, that's
goodness.
A different project. I have a kind of a partner next door that I manufacture housing walls, which is basically a steel framed home with rigid insulation. So basically you're living in a cooler, a little ice chest, because all the walls inside and outside are 6 inches of foam. The roof's usually about 7 inches of foam with another 2 inches underneath to hide all the metal trusses and everything.
Wow.
And you can basically, it's like an erector set. You can put it up in a day, and then all the other parts, it all gets tied together, and then they put a gigacrete coating on the outside. And inside there's no plasterboard whatsoever. It's all done with a gypsum type of a plaster, but it's got some special characteristics in it that will not allow mold or mildew to grow, and it's got a fire rating way higher than sheetrock. So basically if it gets flooded, you can just wash the walls down and you don't have to replace all the insulation and all the sheetrock and everything like that.
That's really cool. How big can you build a house like this?
Oh, we're going to be building mansions if they want. We did a $4 million house in Beverly Hills last year, and they pulled down some of the old housing and built this great big monstrous steel structure and coated with foam and everything, and it took a long time to build it because this person there was into the invested online, or what do you call that, day trading, and he had wires in the walls that was everywhere, very, very thick wires and everything, but it all got done. So they like it, and energy saving, because you, like I say, you're living in the cooler, you're warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
Yeah.
And actually those two houses that were built side by side are somewhere up in Summerland, where one was foam. It was kind of a big house. It was probably 2,000 or 3,000 square feet, probably bigger than that. And the electric bills, one was regular stick built and one was the foam built house. It wasn't ours. It was built not with our product that we made, but the electric bill in the summer on the stick built house was $1,200, and on the foam house it was $300.
Wow.
So it saved a great deal of money on the power bills for the air conditioning and everything.
Absolutely. So you can you make them any shape if you want? You can make a dome house if you wanted.
We've done a dome house.
Yeah.
Actually, what the panels would be like hexagonal, and they all went together. We did that out in Arizona, in between Las Vegas and Kingman, and the guy out there had 8,000 acres and was going to put all these houses on them. This was a dome house, so very interesting.
Now, how about the expense compared with a stick-built house?
Well, it's probably a little bit cheaper, but what the biggest saving is the time to build the house, because you build it in probably half the time, and you don't have to have scaffold up for several weeks. It's up in one day, and once they plaster it, it's down and the scaffold's gone, and you save yourself probably 2 or 3 weeks just in that stage alone.
So you plaster the inside and the outside.
Both inside and outside.
So it's like stucco on the outside, I guess, right? Or...
It's a kind of a stucco. It's a special crystallization in it which allows the crystals to grow into the foam and attach itself. And it's got, of course, it's got netting on, not white mesh, but cloth mesh, like a fiberglass mesh. And that outside product for Gigacrete is waterproof, so it doesn't let any of the water in. And also they make bulletproof walls out of it also. If you get
bulletproof?
Oh yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. 2 inches thick of the inside plaster. As well, they've been through 3 different levels of government testing and passed all the different levels for different size bullets and everything. Actually, all the bullets, even a 50 caliber rifle bullet, it stopped that too.
So when they're building this, how do they do the wiring, for instance, and the plumbing?
Well, what we do with the wiring is we put a hole next to every stud, and the wire goes down the hole, and then you cut your hole in the thing for your electrical box, and you attach it to the stud. In this way, you're not pulling wires through metal studs, and if you do that, there's possibility that the exterior wiring could get damaged and then could cause a fire.
Yeah.
And otherwise, if we had to do that, then you have to put a grommet in every stud, and that becomes time consuming and expensive.
Right.
So this way it comes down from the top, and there's no way that it can get chafed on any metal or anything like that. So it's a safe way of doing it.
Once it's built, if you have to add some plumbing, for instance, you drill into it? Is that how you do it?
Plumbing, you just take a hot knife and a groove jet, and you cut a hole in the wall, put your plumbing in, and you're not going through, you're going a couple of inches into it. It's 6 inches walls anyway. And then afterwards you put your plumbing in, and then you do some expanding foam, sand it off. It's good as new. You would never know it's there.
Very interesting.
So
It's fascinating. So the big thing is the savings on the energy, and
yes,
once you
time
sort of pay for itself over time.
Time building and energy saving, and there's lots of good things that could be said for it. And
how about the roof? How's that look?
the roof is actually, there's a couple of different ways we do the roof. There's a new kind of a board. It's called a magnesium board, where we'd put the foam 7 inches of it actually comes out to be about 9 inches time. You put your inside 2 inches to cover the studs and or the attachments, and then we have been putting magnesium board on it, which is far more denser and than the other. And then they could put whatever roof wants, standing seam roof of metal. They could put tile on it. You could put anything. There's actually the gigacrete, what we put on the exterior of the house, can also be put on the roof. I've made tile that looks like concrete tile, and by putting that on it, it's a lightweight roof. Then you don't need so much structural weight on it, so you could build it with a lesser thickness of steel.
So now, because it is lightweight, what happens when there's let's say you lived in a hurricane area, would it work there?
Oh yeah, we built many houses in St. Thomas, St. Croix, Exuma, and in these last 189 mile-an-hour winds, the foam houses have stood up to the hurricane, and all the other houses around it have been flattened. So it's been proved to go through hurricanes and everything. So we've had one in Haiti for probably 5 years now.
Wow.
So, and it's still standing.
So do you use a standard foundation?
Yeah, you do a standard foundation, and then in each corner and probably a couple of different structural places, there's all thread that goes down into the concrete, and then you attach it to the top plate, and you put your roof on it. It's all tied together as like one big envelope. So if the hurricane wants to take it, it's got to take the concrete, the house, and the whole thing together. So it's all tied together.
Interesting.
So that's we've got since this last hurricane, there's been a lot of interest there. They want to build with foam houses now. So.
Now, how about the rafters or trusses? Are those steel?
Yeah, steel trusses.
So they pretty much span the whole thing, or
there's two different ways we do roofs. I mean, if it's very complicated with lots of hips and valleys and different styles of roof, then sometimes it's easier to build it with stick built on the roofs, because then you're doing it on the job. It's not pre-manufactured, because you get one cut wrong, or then you have to do some cutting on the job. But otherwise it's all built and sent out as one complete house. So if it's a flat roof, or if it's a hip roof, or it's a roof that's simple, then you can do it with that. The best, my opinion, that the best thing this is for is low-income housing, build small houses and keep them all up 4-foot panels,
Mm-hmm.
and put the windows in the strategic places, and it's all good to go.
Wow,
And you could make a lot of houses inexpensive, and probably a lot more people can afford to buy them.
Now, part of the name of your company is Creative Shapes, right?
Creative foam shapes.
And
yes.
so what else do you do that are creative that comes out of foam?
Well, we do a lot of packaging for different jobs and different packaging companies. Sheets, 4x8 sheets, 1 inch thick, 2 inches, 10 inches thick, whatever you want, 20 inches thick, it doesn't matter. And we also do all the architectural shapes that you see on the outside of the buildings that get covered with stucco usually. And then we do urethane products, which makes the urethane look like wood, and that's a little more expensive, but the actual foam itself is very inexpensive. A 2x4, 8-foot long in foam costs probably $1.24. With wood it's like $4, $4.
Wow, big
So
difference.
around the windows and stuff like that, they put foam and put some netting on it and put the stucco over it.
So if you were building, let's say, a 3,000 square foot home, the cost between the foam and the stick-built home, what would it be?
I really don't get into the pricing. I'm just the manufacturer for the walls and the foam. Now
Uh-huh.
my partners or my associates, they do all the pricing because they put everything together, they market it, and they
Is it
buy the
cheaper
stuff.
though, or is it?
Yeah, I would think it's a little cheaper.
Yeah, but certainly faster.
Faster, and it is cheaper. It's just that if somebody wanted to know the price of a house, they would just call in, and my associate would take a look at all the square footage and everything that needs to be done, and they'll give them a price. He usually prices 4 or 5 houses a day, so
Wow.
there's a lot of interest. We built in California, we built in Arizona, Las Vegas, actually some in Colorado, Minnesota, so a lot of places we've been building.
Interesting. So now, if somebody out there that's watching us and you go, man, that's a cool idea, I think I'd like to try that. How do they get a hold of you?
Well, they can call me at my number is 702-270-6572, and
Just ask for Andy, right?
don't ask for me. No, ask for. I'm never there.
Tell him Andy sent you.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And talk to Dave or somebody that'll. You can give him all the information you need for the foam industry. Now, for the Gigacrete houses, then you have to call Gigacrete, and I don't have that number.
Well, they could probably
available for me.
Google that.
Oh yeah, if you want
Giga
to,
Creek,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, if you want to go and take a look at what they do, is www.gigacrete.com. That's CRETE Gigacrete.com.
Giga, Gigacrete. Gigacrete.
Gigacrete. Gigacrete. Gigacrete.com.
Okay, very
Yeah,
cool.
and you'll see a lot of the houses in the Caribbean. Different projects we've done. They've done all kinds of different things. So
Oh,
their product is very strong. It's less likely to crack and things like that.
well, very
And,
interesting.
It's a different product, but a little more expensive than the regular stucco, but it's well worth it. Yeah.
Well, Andy, I'm detecting a little bit of an accent, and where's that coming from?
It comes from jolly good old England.
Ah.
I've been here 43 years now. I've still got an accent, I guess. But yeah, I spent 20 years in the military and 22 years doing my last adventure in the foam industry.
You're in the U.S. military.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So you came over how many years? 40? You said?
43 years.
43 years ago.
1975, February
And
1975.
became a citizen.
Yes, in 1977 in well, actually it was in Helena, Montana.
Uh-huh.
That was the capital of Montana. And
Did your family come with you? Your parents?
No, I got 7 brothers and sisters still in England, and my mother. So,
Wow.
so I got to go back and visit very soon.
So you braved it yourself, huh? You came
Well,
over.
me and my wife,
Uh-huh.
yeah, came to earn our fortune with a little knapsack on our back.
Yeah.
You know, that's what was. And believe me,
That's an adventure.
it was an adventure, but it was quite different because we ended up in New York and then took a bus all the way to south of Buffalo, and it was cold and
Wow.
It was a different. I told my wife, "What the hell did you bring me to?" But it's all been good. I've done very well for myself.
Did you come directly to Vegas? After
No,
that?
no.
You've been all around then.
I was in Italy for 8 years, and Montana, Texas, Omaha, Nebraska for 2 tours, and then that was my last tour where we retired out of Omaha. And I didn't want to be in any hurricanes or tornadoes or where bugs are or things like that. I've been in the snow. I didn't want to know snow, so
Yeah.
made some logical choices. There had to be an Air Force base, so I could get my medical and everything. So this is where we ended up.
It's paradise. Good place
Yeah.
to be, right?
Yeah, it was. And by accident, got into the phone business and been doing it for the last 22 years, 23 years.
Wow.
So we started in '96 and still going. Weathered
You know-
it through all the recessions and everything.
Well, it's an interesting niche, isn't it? Something it's unusual. It's something that
Yeah.
is really cool, sexy sounding, and some people probably ask a lot of questions about.
Oh yeah, everybody loves the business, but
Yeah.
no, we cut everything with hot wire machines and computerized hot wire machines, and we have about 15 machines that we do it with, so we can put out a lot of product. We can put out probably 10 houses a day if we ever got that many to build in a day.
My goodness.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
It'd be cool to see that factory, just to see how you do it.
hey,
Do you
you're
give
welcome.
Do you give tours of it?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I'm definitely going to sign up for one.
Yeah, come on down and we'll show you all about what we do, and you'll be surprised how much foam we got in there.
I could imagine.
Sometimes
you
we
must
can't-
have a huge plant. It must be.
We got 17,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
That's not so big then, but
well, it's big
Not-
enough.
not if you have
It
enough
co-
to do
it
10
co-
houses.
It costs enough in rent.
yeah, I'm sure.
But it's all good.
Absolutely. So you're loving Las Vegas?
Yes, we
It's
do.
it's a great place to be, right?
Yep. England was a great place to be from. So
Yeah, I'll bet. When's the last time you were in England?
10 years ago. I used to go every year. I used to
Yeah.
take a hop on a military plane and go to the Air Force Base. And
A lot of changes, huh?
in England, probably. I haven't been there for 10 years. Europe's changed.
All of Europe has changed dramatically.
Yeah. So, but that's everywhere's changing. But it's not too bad.
What made you come here? Because that's sort of an ambitious thing to do.
To America?
Uh-huh. Did you grow up thinking about it, or?
No, it's kind of strange, really. I tried to join the English Air Force, but I passed all the medicals and tests and just waiting to tell me where to go to report, and I got a letter in the mail. I didn't fit the nationality requirements. Can you believe that? Born there, my mother's English, but my father was Polish, and he couldn't go back after the Second World War, and I don't know, for some unknown reason, I think there was some spying going on back then at the time, and I didn't fit the nationality requirements.
My goodness.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is.
So I come to America, and 3 weeks later I was in the Air Force.
And they're glad to take you, huh?
Yeah.
So 20 years in there.
Yep.
That's
20 years and 29 days.
we might want to turn your volume off there.
I can turn the whole thing
yeah,
off.
there you go. Unless it's that's President Trump? It sounds like.
Oh,
We
yes,
don't need to talk to him. Yeah.
But yeah, it's been exciting. I've loved it. I've loved every minute of the Air Force. I tell everybody I was retired for 20 years. Now I work for a living. But
Yeah. So you traveled all over the world, probably?
yeah, I've been all over Europe and everything. And
Yeah.
yeah, it was a great time.
What was your What'd you specialize in the
Computers.
Yeah.
I promoted myself into incompetency. So,
So you were back kind of in the beginning of computers.
oh yeah. Yep.
What was the first computer you worked on?
You wouldn't believe this. I was in the warning division, which
The
we
warning?
had. Yeah, we probably had 17,000 square feet of computers and a raised floor and two of everything. And what it did was track the missiles coming out of Russia. If a missile come out of Russia, it was heading our way. We knew when it was going to come and how long it would take to get here. So, and our mandate was if it went down, we had to have backup in 10 minutes, so we could. The person, the warning controller, could report to the general, and the general would call the president if there was anything happening.
So that was in the days of probably big mainframes,
yes,
right?
yes.
So probably that
Large.
17,000 feet could be down on a couple of desktops or something. No?
It could be on one desktop.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So-
amazing how things are. Maybe
Oh,
on
yeah.
your phone, huh?
Yeah, probably nearly. When you consider that one machine had, what was it, like 512K of memory?
500.
Not
yeah.
mega, K,
Yeah.
kilo. Yeah. And we had 2 of everything. So we had a partitioning unit, so if something went wrong, you'd partition it out and boot the system back up. And
Yeah, which happened all the time, probably.
not too often.
No?
Not too often. It was pretty reliable. Dual UNIVAC 1160s.
So you were there when internet came about,
Oh, yeah.
right at the beginning, huh?
It wasn't called internet then, it was called, I can't remember anymore what it was
I
called.
forgot the name of it as well, but you must have been very thankful for Al Gore inventing that, huh?
Yeah, of course. Good old Al. Yeah, no. It was way before, made it before that.
How many years was it that it was only available to the military before it got to the public?
Oh, I would think probably 10 years or so.
Yeah.
Because they started getting PCs, back in the, I was doing that in 78, went to Italy, 83, probably 86. Those.
I remember in the 80s, I had a computer that had a cassette tape.
Oh, yeah.
You stored on a cassette tape, right? Obviously, you're not going to store very much on there, but
Oh, we had banks of the big reel-to-reel tapes
Yeah.
going chick, chick, chick,
Uh-huh.
like that. But I had a lot of memory. I even had a drum memory. Now, I don't know
drum
how.
memory.
Drum memory. And then we used to have other plaques that you unscrewed and you took them out and there was 6 platters on it or 7 or 8 platters on
Uh-huh.
it. And when they go wrong, we'd take them apart and they'd make going away gifts and stuff out of them.
so 20 years later, when you got out of the military, what was it like?
And the military?
Uh-huh.
Well, there was still some big mainframes. There was a
Really?
crane and that, and I was in the last assignment I had was in global weather, so they flew the satellites. So, like I say, I promoted myself in incompetency, and there was a lot of officers and people with NCOs with master's degrees that did the programming and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But
Of course, now it's a whole different deal, right?
I don't think so.
No, you think it's similar?
It's got to be similar, yeah.
But with the equipment, I mean, with the advances in technology. And
Yeah, but we had really fast computers at that time. We had crays and stuff like that, so to process a lot of number crunching. But,
very interesting. So, out of all the places that you've traveled to, what would you say was the most exciting, the one you really liked the best?
I think my second computer assignment over to Verona, Italy, it was a NATO assignment.
Oh,
So I went from that 17,000 square feet to an IBM 34, which was about as big as a desk. It was different. And I had to wait 6 months to get that computer. It was a NATO assignment, so things didn't happen too fast.
now you were a programmer? Did you do programming?
No, it was
or-
operations really, but I did take computer programming courses and stuff like that, but never did program. It was just operations. And then they merged the career fields into the career field, which then was in charge of telephone switchboards and ComSec and other things. Just diversified the whole thing.
Uh-huh. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, very exciting. Now you have children?
Oh, we got one boy. Got him in Italy.
You got him in Italy.
Got him in Italy. He was born in Pordenone Hospital and right from the womb into my wife's arms.
Oh,
So
wonderful.
he was adopted. So
Uh-huh.
it was different. I used to live next door to the chief nurse, and she came home one day. She said, "Do you want to adopt a baby?" I said, "Well, I better ask my wife." So 20 minutes later, we said, "Yeah, we'll do it." And then met the girl. 20 minutes later, it was all over. She said, "Okay." And visited with her for about 2 or 3 months.
That had
and
to be just an amazing experience.
It was. Changed a lot of diapers and fed that little boy in the night all the time.
Yeah.
It was,
Now, how old is he now?
He's 26.
Wow.
And he's done 6 years in the Army Reserve, so he's followed in, not my footsteps. I told him, you want to go in the Air Force, not why walk when you can fly? So why do that?
That's right.
Who's going to shoot? We don't shoot at Air Force people, we shoot at the Army people.
That's right.
So, but no, he wanted to go in the Army, so he took the Army.
Very interesting.
Yeah. He did
Is he
his
here in
6
Vegas?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he works for me. So
Very
6 years in the army was enough for him. So he moved on. Well, he got out of it. He's finished. He's still Army Reserves, but for a few more years. But
Yeah.
he doesn't have to go active duty anymore.
So what motivates you, Andy? What
motivates me?
Uh-huh.
Actually, what motivates me is doing good for people. I'm very, very soft-hearted, and I help people. And I've just got involved, or I've just come across as something that's really dear to my heart right now, and that's stem cell technology. And what they can do with that is incredible. It's the best thing out there right now, and it's going to change the medical systems really to a big thing. You can nearly fix anything with the stem cells, so it's really exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I know you're involved also in a is it a discount program or a way of getting saving money?
Yeah, we belong to a private travel club where we're able to give away, or for a small fee, for a donation for Alexis lemonade stand, where Alexis was a young child that had cancer, and after a couple of years she told her mother she wanted to open a lemonade stand, and her mother, it was winter time, she says, how much lemonade can you sell in the winter? She says, I don't care, I just want, she says, what are you going to do with the money? She says, I want to donate it to the Child Cancer Fund. And since then, and she died about 4 years after that, but since then they've raised over $130 million for child cancer. And it's going to be more this year because Good Life USA is sponsoring every card that we give away for $2,000. We give away $2,000 cards, discount cards. $1 every card that goes out goes to her foundation, and 2% of that $2,000, if the card's used, goes to the foundation. Wow. So it could be generating millions of dollars.
So tell us about the card now. If somebody out there wants to get one of these or wants to save money, tell us how it works.
You can call me. My telephone number would be 702-501-2157, and the company's called Good Life USA. And we would teach you how to do it, and then you contact Good Life USA if you want to make hotel bookings, because you probably could save yourself 30% on all your hotels.
Wow. And
you could save money on airplane flights. It's also, you can save money on small amount of money on car rental, and cruises is a big discount on private yachts, private airplanes. You could also book them, and lots of different things. It's got some home shopping networks on there, retail, restaurants. You can save a lot of money on your meals. You just send away for a coupon. I know there was one you paid $11 for, and you had $100 worth of coupons for that restaurant. So you save a lot of money there also. So it's a very good travel voucher. Not voucher, more or less travel discount, because you pay several hundreds of dollars less than you would if you was just going on a regular.
So if I wanted to get one of these cards, then how much does it cost me money, or how does that work?
No, I couldn't tell you. They'd have to kill me if I tell you how much I paid for them, but it's not very much. So it's you can give them away and not feel bad about it. So, but it's
so if I get one from you, then I can just take the card. I call a number? What
we have to do is we have to register that card, because it belongs to me. And then when people use that card, then we get a part of that $2,000 as a commission.
So if I go on a cruise, and if a cruise costs me $2,000, for instance, you get a percentage of that?
Yep.
Wow.
A big percentage.
So I save money, plus you make money.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting. And then I guess I could sign up and do the same thing as you're doing.
Yes. We encourage people. What the card is basically used for is for a trial. It's like buying a new car. You want to drive it before you buy it. So you can use the travel card. Doesn't cost you any money, and then you could go on a cruise, or you can see how much you save. Then if you like it, then you join the travel club itself, and then you pay a one startup fee and then a nominal monthly fee, and then you can do what I do: give away $2,000 cards.
Wow.
To anybody you want.
So now, when you give away a card, you make money off of their purchases. But how about if they sign up and they start making money off of their friends that they've given cards? Do you make money from that too?
Yes, we get a certain percentage for 5 levels down,
Okay.
which you're making about 25% of whatever the other people was making.
So it can add up to quite a bit.
It could be. It's very, very lucrative if you want to get in the business of doing that. And
I suppose some of the people you work with there making some pretty good money.
I think they are. They don't tell me.
Yeah.
I don't do so much. I don't do as well. I'm not a very good salesperson, but there's some people earning tens of thousands of dollars a month.
Wow.
So it's a good business.
Well, sounds like it.
And the company Goodyear, they've only been going about a year and a half, and they want to take a third of the world's market in travel.
A third of the market. Wow. That's ambitious.
It vary, but it saves people a lot of money.
Yeah.
And if you understand the travel business is private travel and public, and there's very small private companies. They don't have commissions and stuff out there. Where the public companies, they have to pay for advertising and everything like that. Trivago and all the different ones. They all basically belong to two
Right.
major companies.
Right.
So.
Well, Andy, I heard something today that was pretty amazing, actually. One of your friends was visiting with you and I, and he made a statement. He's actually quite famous himself, knows a lot of famous people, worked directly with them. He said he was a millionaire at 28, and a lot of his really close friends are people that are well known, extremely well known.
Extremely well known. He knows a lot of people.
Entertainment business.
Entertainment business.
But he made a statement that about you that I thought was shocking. That of all the people he knows, and the person that is his closest friend that he really loves the most here and that he trusts. And I thought that was the most important thing. The person he trusts is you.
Yes.
How did you feel when he said that?
It makes you feel real good that somebody appreciates your friendship. So
Yeah.
And we've become very close friends, and whatever I do, he gets a share of. Whatever he does, I get a share of, and we live our lives like that. And he will be very successful again in the promoting business. So he's going to go out there and start promoting a lot of his music friends and boxers and all different kind of people. But
yeah, very good.
he's quite a character, and
Well, you get so many cool things going on, and you're just very well-rounded and with a lot of different diverse interests. And what do you see for yourself in the next 4, 5, 6 years?
I hope I'll be working with this stem cell, promoting that, and getting that more doctors getting involved with the stem cell usage and helping people. They can do a lot of stuff with that stem cell. You can put it into ailing organs that can make it better and things like that. So it's a wonderful thing, and I hope to do a lot with it.
So helping people really once again, right?
Yeah, a lot of people, and we do a lot of work for non-profit foundations, especially with the Lexus Lemonade Fund and stuff like that. So it's going to spread very quickly, and it's going to be very lucrative for people that want to get into that kind of thing.
So Andy, there are givers and there's takers in life, right?
Hell yeah.
And then there's people kind of in between. But all different levels, but you're very much a giver, and
I give too much. That's the problem.
well, I don't know if it's possible to give too
No,
much.
it's
You know,
not.
it's
You
just,
can always give.
it's such a wonderful thing. But how did you get to be a giver? How did you get like that?
I've always been the same way. It's just my nature. I don't know how to be mean. I'm not a very mean person. People say, "Don't you get mad?" I say, "No, not really." I mean, everybody deserves their say. They deserve that. I do. It does upset me about all the killings and the child abuse and the spousal abuse, and that really gets me. It's totally. There's no need for it.
Yeah.
There's definitely no need for it, and we got to teach our people what to not be like this. Why are we killing our school kids? Why we if you have an argument with somebody, pull out a gun and shoot them, then you're in jail for the rest of your life, and for what? No reason whatsoever. Just some stupid argument. And people got to think. I'm not a good gun advocate. I mean, I was in the military for 20 years, but I shot the gun about 3 times, the M16, once in basic training, and then a couple of times to qualify to go overseas. But otherwise, I never touched a gun. I don't own a gun. I don't want to own a gun.
Yeah.
If I owned a gun, then my ex-wife might have shot me already. But who knows?
So for you, it's probably better you didn't.
Oh
have
yeah, I
one.
don't want one. So.
But you're not mean, you said. So maybe
No.
she would not have shot you. Well,
Never know.
that's a complicated issue. There's obviously many
Yeah.
sides to that issue, but
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't care if people have guns. If people want guns, they want guns. But
yeah.
be protective of them and don't be silly with them. Don't be stupid. That's the
Well, I
biggest
guess the
thing.
bigger issue is, like you were saying, these guys that are doing it, something's wrong with them.
Oh yeah.
Yes. And
Definitely.
it was them that did it, right? They're the ones that made. So maybe the stem cells will help them, huh?
Yeah, it sticks them in their brain.
Yeah, we just had to poke them, give them a shot in the brain, and maybe they'll figure out. That's probably, if they can ever figure out, if the medical community ever figure out how to sort of fix people that have mental issues like that.
That's the other
right?
big thing. We're putting all people that need help. We put them back out on the streets.
Yeah.
And that's another huge problem. Homelessness is a huge problem.
Yeah, sure is.
And that's one of the reasons why I like the lower income houses and stuff like that for people, because if a house costs you $300,000, that's a big mortgage. That's a big payment every month. Whereas you can get houses down to $125,000. Lots more people can afford them. And they don't have to be mansions. I mean, people can live in 1,400 square feet houses and comfortable.
Of course. Even have you seen the little tiny houses? Is that what they call them, tiny houses?
I did see something about that a couple of weeks
very
ago.
small, but everything's compact, and they're building now communities with these almost like little tiny travel trailers almost, but designed in different ways with skylights, so you're not cramped up when you're in them.
Well, I did another project which is now becoming a thing to do, is the cargo trailers,
Yeah.
the containers. I can insulate both inside and outside with that, and you would never know it's a container.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
I can cut the foam to fit right over them grooves, and then they can stucco over that, put the windows in it, and make it look like a house.
And be strong
And you can buy those things relatively cheap, because a lot of them they have to get rid of because they're rusting out and stuff like that.
don't even well, I guess you'd have a foundation, but you don't really need much of one, do you? Because they're so heavy.
No, you can put 2 together even. And
Well, there's a whole container park here.
There's a container park, and there was a gentleman. I don't have it with me now, but maybe I do.
Is that Tony Shea you were talking about? The from Zappos?
No. This gentleman's name was Arnold Stark. Veteran Tiny House Village.
Really?
Yes.
Here in Vegas?
Yes.
Wow.
And he was on the news 3-4 weeks ago.
Uh-huh.
And I looked at that. I said, you know what? I can even make the outside look like a house, not a container, because it's still got the metal on the outside. I can make it look like a house. And I haven't been able to contact him yet, but I probably will in the near future. and he's supposed to be going to build a big project with them. So, I mean, trailers, you can buy these old ones for $2, $3, $4, $5, anywhere to $10,000, but it's a shell. I mean,
right.
How much more you got to put into it?
Yeah.
Toilets and bathtubs and everything else, but it wouldn't be. I'm sure that'd be down. Well, actually, it was a really interesting. He was going to rent them out for the poor people, the homeless, $300 a month. Unemployment, you can get one of those.
I wonder how high you could stack those.
Well, you can stack them a long way. You look on the ships; they're stacked up 10 high. So
yeah, see, that'd be an interesting.
They lock together.
That would be interesting, wouldn't it? You weld them together, I guess, right? You could weld them so that you couldn't move, and
yep. They wouldn't move anyway. They're so heavy.
Yeah, that would be interesting. That'd be a perfect place for the homeless, and you can get a lot of people in a small area.
I think they're building small one-room places for a lot of the homeless anymore.
I saw an interesting. My son showed me this YouTube video that I think it was from Japan, where they had pods where the homeless people would live in.
Yeah, and that's another. That's what we got to do more of. We got to get these homeless people housed, out of the cold, out of the weather, in the heart of the cold. We got to get them into some kind of homes where they can live and have their dignity. I mean, it was crazy. Some guys go around shooting homeless people anymore. Well, hopefully they put him where he belongs. So
yeah, no, absolutely.
That was so sad. And I know that I've seen that guy riding his bicycle around, but he wasn't doing nothing to anybody. He was sleeping. He wanted to shoot him when he's asleep. He must be a madman, a crazy man. So there you go. Put him in jail and whatever.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's a lot of crazies that do all kinds of things. Yeah. And then sometimes other things get blamed for them being crazy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I asked you earlier about what motivates you, and I know there's a lot of people that are out there that are watching us right now that different places in their life, and maybe they need a little motivation right now. What words do you have for them to? Because obviously you're a successful business guy. You've had a thread of success in your life, done a lot of interesting, great things, and what advice do you have for people out there?
You know, one of the best advice I can give anybody, and they should really think about this. I was told this when I was 28 years old, is pay yourself first. Before you pay any other bill, pay yourself first. Right. What that means is you set a whatever amount of money that you want to save and pay that first every month. If it's $100, give yourself $100. Invest it in a mutual fund. Invest it in there's many different things you can invest it in. And I know I was told that by a real financial planner, and I did that. I invested $210 a month for 15 years.
Wow.
So over that time, it was all the time I was in the military, so we wasn't paid well. I mean, if we was paid okay, we'd live. But I invested $210 a month for 15 years, from 1978 to 1995, when I retired. And I actually put in $42,000 into that mutual fund. And when I sold it at about 2002, I didn't put any more money in it after the 15 years. I sold it for $424,000.
My goodness. What was the name of the fund? Do you remember?
Fidelity Destiny 1.
Yeah. Oh, I like the name.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's still Fidelity's. Fidelity is one of the biggest
of course.
Mutual fund investment companies in the world. And that's the best advice I can give anybody. Teach your children how to use a checkbook, because they don't do that in school. You have to. Yeah. That's the worst thing. Then nobody teaches how to survive, how to use a checkbook, how to save, how to plan for life afterwards. When you retire. I mean, a lot of people I could have retired at 44, but I chose to, by accident, work for a living.
Well, Andy, this hour is just about done, but I could listen to you for hours, but I think you just ended it on some of the best advice that anybody could ever have.
It's really,
really great. So thanks so much for joining us, and
enjoyed it.
Give us your phone number one more time. Somebody wants to contact you.
702-501-2157.
Okay.
My name's Andy.
Just ask for Andy.
Yep.
Well, thanks so much. And tell him you need Andy from Randy. From
Oh,
the
yeah.
Randy Show, right?
So now we're called Randy Andy.
That's right. Well, thanks again, and we'll see you next week, same time, same station. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.